FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
And then I realized, no, I'm actually way off. A virus is the ultimate David and Goliath. We must have a height advantage and a mass advantage of trillions on a virus, and yet it can take you down, it can kill you. It's like Luke Skywalker taking out the Death Star in a little X-Wing fighter. And I mean, viruses are pretty amazing. I bet most of you have this level of understanding, at least, that they go into a cell. It's barely a life form on its own, but when it goes into a cell, it completely takes over the machinery and turns it to its own uses. It's a hostile takeover, you know? Your cells under new management. And I mean, it really, truly, it's bizarre. Like, it would be like going into a Coke factory and having them make Pepsi. Or weirder, like going into a Nike factory and having them crank out Twinkies. And if you think about this kind of stuff too hard, here's the kind of jokes you come up with. A virus walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve viruses in this bar." The virus replaces the bartender and says, "Now we do." An infectious disease walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve infectious diseases in this bar." The infectious disease says, "Well, you're not a very good host." That's okay, groaning is acceptable. The joke is sound. Two bacteria walk into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve bacteria in this bar." The bacteria say, "But we work here. We're staff." A room temperature superconductor walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve any superconductors in this bar." The room temperature superconductor leaves without putting up any resistance. An infrared photon walks into a bar and says, "Is it hot in here or is it just me?" I like to start to shoot for smaller and smaller portions of the audience, so a neutrino walks into a bar. Who's with me? A neutrino walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve neutrinos in this bar." The neutrino says, "Hey, I was just passing through." Schrodinger's cat walks into a bar and doesn't.